I recently had a new air conditioner installed at one of my rentals, and it was a bit of a headache. So I wanted to share my experience on what to be aware of when you are dealing with replacement or maintenance costs at your rentals or even your own place, and how to save you thousands of dollars. I am Tiffany Thomas with WealthyTiffany.com, and I achieved financial freedom at age 38, and that was mainly through real estate investing. If you are looking to achieve financial freedom at a young age as well, hit that like button and hit the subscribe button, and we're going to dive right in. One of the main reasons people do not get involved in investing in real estate is because of what can go wrong with those real estate properties. The air conditioner could stop working, or even the heater, or the water heater could start leaking, or tenants could not pay rent or be late on rent. There are a number of different items that can go wrong with real estate investing. But on the flip side of that, there are so many things that can go right with real estate investing, like your tenants paying you and paying you on time, and your air conditioner could last 28 years. Rent prices can increase over time. The value of your property can increase, can appreciate over time. Your mortgage can eventually be paid off, and then you will increase your cash flow. And you can also become financially free through real estate. So there are a lot of benefits to investing in real estate. So I don't want you to be afraid of investing in real estate after you hear my experience, which actually isn't that bad, and I'm going to teach you principles to apply to make things easier for you when you are investing in real estate. Home repair and property maintenance can cost thousands and thousands of dollars, and we had a heat wave recently in Utah where I live and where my rental properties are, and my tenant had sent me a text saying, you know what, the air conditioner isn't working properly. It's cooling down a little bit, but it never gets to the set temperature. I had asked one of my friends about this situation. He does a lot of handyman work for me, and he had said the refrigerant might be low on the air conditioner unit. But he's not familiar with adding refrigerant to AC units. I reached out to my old handyman who actually put refrigerant in one of my other air conditioners, and unfortunately he was not available to help me. I have another friend who runs his own HVAC business, heating, ventilation, and air conditioning, so I reached out to him in hopes that he could help me. But since my rental is a condo, and it is a 3-story condo, the air conditioner unit is actually on top of the roof. And my friend with the HVAC business does not do roofs anymore. I guess he had a bad situation, so he just doesn't do roofs. And it was kind of funny when this had happened because one of my other friends had just posted on Facebook that his air conditioner wasn't working properly and was getting recommendations from other people. So I looked at different options that people had recommended for him on who I could call. But apparently having an air conditioner unit on top of a 3-story condo building is not desirable to HVAC people. A lot of people don't have a ladder that is tall enough to get on the roof. So after calling a few more people and they were not able to help me, I did my own post on Facebook. And I specifically said, does anyone know any HVAC companies that will get on a roof? I got a few comments underneath, and I called one of the guys and he said he would come out and look to see if his ladder would reach. He wasn't sure if it would. And my friend who originally posted it on Facebook, he had gone with another guy, so he texted me his information. So I called him and asked him if he could come and give me a bid. He also said, my ladder is not tall enough. But then a little later that night, he messaged me and said he's going to bite the bullet and just buy the taller ladder. And I thought, yes, please do that. And by the time that happened, I was finally able to find someone that had a tall enough ladder, and I scheduled an appointment. And when I was on the phone, they said it's a $99 charge to have them come out, or that I can sign up for their monthly membership, which is $5 a month, and I can cancel at any time. And I thought, what's the catch with this? This seems a little bit odd. And I double-checked the information with her, and she said, no, honestly, it's a $99 charge, but if you sign up for that membership, then you just pay $5 a month. And I specifically asked again, and I can cancel at any time? And she said, yes, you can cancel at any time. So in my mind, I'm thinking, oh, I can have someone come out for $5? Okay, great. So I scheduled the appointment. I met the technician over at the condo. He came inside and looked at the parts that are inside of the condo. He touched some pipes and felt the temperature of the air, which was cool, not cold, but not hot either. And he told me that I should probably just replace the unit, that it's an older unit that's not working properly. And I asked him, well, do you think it just needs refrigerant added? And he said, it could be that, but refrigerant is $300 per pound. And I asked him how big my unit was, and he said it's probably a 6-pound unit. So I would be spending quite a bit of money just to fill up my unit with refrigerant. And if something else was wrong, then I would end up replacing it and spending even more money. And then I asked the guy about going on the roof to take a look at the actual AC unit on the roof. And he said, well, I can, but there is an extra charge for that. And I said, oh, well, the person on the phone told me that the $99 charge would be waived if I sign up for your monthly membership. And then he said, oh, well, that part can be waived, but we have these extra fees that we charge. There's a trip charge and the access fee and then some other type of fee. And he said, well, if you do sign up for the $5 membership, then you still owe me, I can't remember, I think it was $78. And it would be even extra if he went on the roof. And the thing is, when I was setting up this appointment, I made it very clear that he would need to go on the roof because I wanted someone that had a ladder because a lot of companies didn't. So the customer service rep knew that I needed him to go on the roof, and yet there was no mention of an extra charge for going on the roof. Anyway, the technician said I can send the sales rep out and he can give you a bid on a new unit. And I said, okay, send out your sales rep and let's get a bid. Let's just see how much this is going to cost. Even though I feel like he did not fully diagnose what was wrong with my unit. I waited quite a while for the salesman to show up and he didn't go on the roof either. He just went inside of the unit and confirmed what the technician had said and then gave me a bid for a brand new unit. I wasn't really happy with this company. I paid him the $99 and said I wanted to get a couple other bids and I would get back to them if I wanted to use them to replace my air conditioner. And the refrigerant that they would have had to put in my unit is apparently discontinued. I guess this happens pretty often, but it is pretty expensive. I did look online just to see how much it would cost, and I found a 10-pound container of it for about $350. So the labor cost for that is pretty expensive. The HVAC guy that told me he was going to bite the bullet and buy a longer ladder hadn't gotten back to me yet. So I reached out to him one more time and said, hey, I would really love to get a bid from you. And he replied back and said, yes, I will send a bid over. I looked on KSL. It is a pretty popular website in Utah where people will post things for sale and their services. I wanted to find a local company. I don't like using the huge companies. They're usually more expensive. And I like supporting these smaller businesses that are local. So I found another one on there that seemed pretty good. They had gotten some good reviews. So I ended up calling them and scheduling an appointment. They had a ladder that was tall enough. They sent out 2 technicians and I met them over at the condo. They went inside the unit to check on whatever's inside the condo for the air conditioner. And I had told them what was happening, that it was cooling but not getting to the desired temperature. And they said that most likely is the refrigerant, but this does seem like a pretty old unit. And they were both friendly technicians, kind of joking around, and they made me feel comfortable. And I was trusting them. And when I had called to set up this appointment, I had asked if they would do a free second estimate for me and double check what the other HVAC company had said. And they had said, yes, we'll do that free. So after checking inside the unit, he had said, okay, let's see if our ladder is long enough. And he thought, it might not be long enough. And I was thinking, I specifically told the people on the phone they would need a tall ladder to reach the air conditioner unit. Anyway, they pulled their ladder off the van and it was tall enough, thank goodness. So one of the technicians went on the roof to check the unit and then came off the roof and had said the compressor has gone bad. It's not working properly and it probably is low on refrigerant and the electrical doesn't look great. He said it was a unit from 1993, so it was probably time to replace that unit anyway. But he was good enough to give me some estimates on if I wanted to add some refrigerant and replace the compressor and a couple other things that weren't working properly. So I wasn't getting just a bid for a brand new unit. He was actually giving me a bid on what could be fixed. After he added up everything that it would cost to replace those items that weren't working properly, it would be over $3,000. And I thought, okay, well, how much is a new unit? And I asked them that and they said, okay, let us get our sales rep and he can come out and give you a bid. And if you're thinking, there's no way that I could afford to replace an air conditioner right now, and you want to get a better handle on your finances, I use Personal Capital to manage all of my money. You can hook all of your financial institutions, financial accounts to a Personal Capital so you can see all of your finances in one place, and you can continue to watch your savings grow over time. If you're interested in using Personal Capital, you can get a free $20 Amazon gift card by using my referral link, which I will leave below in the description. The sales rep shows up and he says, okay, I need to double check the technician's work. So he went inside and looked at the unit parts in there, and he went up on the roof and checked the unit on the roof. And then he came down and said, yes, the compressor is bad. Let me give you a bid for a new unit. That bid was a little bit less than the first company. I told them I wanted to get one more bid and I would let them know if I wanted to use them to replace my unit. I was considering going with this company because I had called so many companies already, but I wanted to get that bid from the other guy who was going to get that new ladder. A few hours later, I received a text from my tenant and he was not happy. He had said the air conditioner is not working at all. It's no longer blowing cool air whatsoever. So the temperature had gotten up to 80 degrees in the condo. And that made me super mad because I felt like they did something to my unit to make it not work anymore. So I called them and they said, okay, let us find out what's going on. We'll give you a call back. So the technician actually called me back, not the one that went on the roof, but the one that just stayed in the unit. He called me back and said he had talked to the other technician and the sales rep and said that they ended up turning off my unit because it wasn't grounded. It was a hazard. Someone could get electrocuted if they were to touch the unit. And I thought, what? You turned off my unit and you didn't even tell me that you turned it off? I was very upset that they shut off my unit because now my tenants don't even have cool air blowing into the unit. It is super hot in there. And they had told me they wouldn't be able to replace my unit for about a week out. The technician that had called me back, he ended up texting me later and apologizing and saying that him and the sales rep wanted to come out and really check to see what was wrong with the unit and try to make things right. And I thought, well, that's nice of you, but the sales rep said he already double-checked the other technician's work. So I just didn't trust them whatsoever. I still hadn't gotten that bid from the guy that was buying the new ladder, so I went on to KSL again and I found another company with excellent reviews, only 5-star reviews. And I called him, he answered, he's the owner of the company, and I told him what was going on. He said, yes, he can come out and take a look at the unit and give me a bid. It was either that same night or the very next day. I met him over at the condo, and by this time I just wanted a new unit. It sounded like there were things wrong with it, even if the other people weren't completely honest with me. But I didn't want to put any more money into the unit when it may just die soon anyway. So he looked at things inside of the condo and he ended up giving me a bid that was less than both of the other companies. And he wasn't doing any sales tactics, he just felt more honest to me. And he told me he could install the unit the very next day if he could get a crane for it to lift it up on the roof. And the other companies had told me they were about a week out to install a new unit. So I thought, great, I'm going with this guy and I'll have a new unit tomorrow and then I don't have to worry about this and I'm paying less than the other two companies. He ended up getting a crane scheduled for the next day, so he went over there and I just had my tenants meet him there. I didn't meet him there. And he had texted me saying, hey, do you have a minute to talk? So I called him and he had said, who told you that the unit was unsafe, that it wasn't grounded, that it could electrocute someone? Because I had told him that because I didn't want him to get electrocuted. And I said it was the previous company. Come to find out, he actually worked for that previous company and he knew the sales rep that had come out. And I asked him, was it grounded? And he said, yes, it was grounded. The compressor is bad, but they didn't need to shut off your unit, which is what they did. I appreciated him telling me that because he didn't have to tell me that. I would have had no idea that the other company had lied about that. So he finished installing the air conditioner. I went over there later to make sure it was working. And we talked again, and he said, I called the sales rep. I told them to refund you any money that you had paid. And luckily, I didn't pay that company. I had paid the first company. But I thought that was very nice of him to call the other company and make sure that I wasn't being charged anything because of what they had done. And the new unit is working great. My tenants are very happy. They were thinking about going out of town for the weekend because they didn't want to stay in a hot condo. And the same day that the unit was installed, the latter guy had finally gotten back to me and he had sent over a bid. And it was actually about $1,000 less than what I had just paid. So I felt a little sick about that, but I thought, you know what? I really liked that guy. I trust him and I feel like he did a good job and he seemed to be honest with me. So maybe going with the other company wouldn't have worked out for some reason. So all in all, it is done and I am happy I did not go with the first 2 bids that I had received. As you can see, when things need to be replaced or fixed, it can cost a lot of time and a lot of money. But getting more than 1 bid makes a big difference, as you can see. And especially if you don't like the company, if you don't feel like they're being honest, then I would recommend definitely not going with them. I had a similar experience happen at my other rental, my single family home. There were 4 huge cottonwood trees that needed to be removed. They were dying, or some of them were already dead. So I got a lot of bids. I think I got 6 different bids on removing the trees, and it is thousands of dollars to remove those tall trees. The first 5 bids that I received were all around the same price, $5,000 to $6,000. And the last bid that I received, and I actually found him on KSL as well, he is a small business owner. He was the lowest price of all of them. And by lowest price, I mean thousands less. He was about half the price. I ended up going with him and he came out and removed the trees, which looked super scary because he would climb up the trees with his chainsaw attached to his belt, and they had a long rope that they would tie over whatever branch they were going to cut down. And then 2 men on the ground would hold on to those ropes so that the tree branch would fall in the proper place. And the guy would use his chainsaw and cut the tree branch and move as quickly as he could out of the way of his chainsaw so it didn't cut himself. I did watch him do it for a little while and it was pretty scary. I would not want that job. But once again, if you are willing to spend a little extra time, it's not even that much extra time, getting multiple bids, then you can save thousands of dollars on these maintenance costs or repair costs. And it's important while you are getting bids that you are very upfront about what you need, what it entails. For example, if they need to go on the roof of a 3-story condo building, do they have the ability to do that? So give them as much information up front and make sure to ask a lot of questions. For example, are they going to charge you when they come out? And exactly what fees are involved in the entire process? Are they going to charge you an extra fee for going on the roof? Because that's important to know. I wanted to share this experience with you so that you can get a little taste on what it's like to be a landlord, be a property manager. And the thing is, this doesn't happen all of the time, right? This air conditioner will last probably 10 years or longer. The previous AC lasted over 20 years, so you just never know. So while, yes, it did take some of my time to get a new AC unit installed, I won't have to worry about that for a really long time. Just to do a little recap, when you are replacing or repairing something, it's important that you know what it is you need fixed and how they're going to need to fix it. For example, if they need to go on the roof, because you'll want to get multiple bids in order to have this done. So you'll want to give them as much information as possible. For example, if they need to go on a 3-story roof of a condo building. And then ask for recommendations or referrals. It's nice to go with a good company that your friend or relative has used before. And if you aren't able to get a referral or a recommendation from someone else, then definitely go online and look at reviews. Because if they have a ton of negative reviews, most likely they are not going to be the best match for you. And after watching this video, if you no longer want to invest in real estate and you want to do stock market investing, you can actually get 2 free stocks with Webull right now. If you open a free account and then deposit $100, they'll give you 2 free stocks. I will leave my referral link below in the description, and you can click on that to get 2 free stocks and get started investing in the stock market. And that way you don't have to replace an air conditioner. That being said, however, I fully support investing in real estate. And if you are interested in real estate, I do have a playlist with a lot of other videos about real estate investing. So I will leave a link above and below in the description, and you can check those videos out later on. Comment below and tell me if you've had any experiences like this and any insights that you have gained. And if you found this video helpful, please hit that like button and share it with someone else who would like to hear this information. And hit the subscribe button to subscribe to my YouTube channel, and hit the little bell to get notified on when I post new videos. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.